What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode and another week of the What the Puck podcast. I'm Nick, he's Gunk, and Gunk, we got a lot of hockey to talk about.
We sure do. Happy
Let's
Festivus for the rest of us, my
happy
friend.
Festivus. Yes.
Yes, as we record on the Saturday afternoon. It's Festivus is the 23rd. I mean, it's not evergreen, but hey, whatever. It's Christmas time. The smell of cookies is baking in my house from my lovely
Ooh.
wife. The kid is outside playing, so I have a nice little quiet conversation time. Let's talk some hockey, baby.
Yes, let's air some grievances because
Seriously. Oh my God, let's
last
do
week
that.
around I want to say it was Tuesday or Wednesday, the Devils had a meeting with the Flyers.
Oh yeah, meeting. Do
Uh
you mean a turnover fest? Because that's all I saw. The whole game was a
uh
turnover fest against one of the over. I mean, I thought they were. I looked at the Phillies record. I'm like, wow, all right, they're doing good this year. Good for them. And then I watched them play, and I'm like, how is this team even second in the Metro right
I
now? I
mean,
mean, oh
you had a good first period. Michael McLeod gets a goal to put the Devils up, and then the second, I mean, Ryan Paling. What was that first goal? What was that gift from Jack?
oh my God. He again. And that's what I want to get into with this team. With is the gosh darn fans on the boards. Poor Jack has carried this team almost all year in points with Jesper Bratt. I mean, peanut butter and jelly, they're calling it, and you can get one at the Rock for like $18 or whatever it is now. But yeah, you saw that. Yeah, it's like yeah, they make a peanut butter and jelly now because Jack had mentioned it one time, and now they took advantage of it.
Of course they did.
But again, it's like yeah, I mean, he's a superstar. He's gonna have a bad game. He had a bad game. He had a couple turnovers. You got to take the good with the bad sometimes. I mean, the kid is still young. You got to give him time. I mean, like I said, just he's gonna make mistakes.
Yeah, but
The
that's a
defense is
bit.
gonna
I
make
mean,
mistakes.
for somebody that's in heart conversations all the time,
Yeah.
you can't be giving up gifts like that, especially in
No.
a game where you're already leading. I mean, it's a 1-0 game, but still. I
I
mean,
yeah. No. I totally
I
get that.
get
But
it.
again, it's
I get it, but like you still gotta ask like what was that? I mean,
oh
you were able to get the lead back on the power play with Brat's goal after
yes.
getting Nico's rebound, so like that's pretty good, but like
It was a nice goal too. That was a beautiful goal.
but then you let Paling score again on a weird defense. It was a weird breakdown defensively. It seemed like I'm not sure if it was a breakdown turnover, but it led to a 2-on-1 and a goal. So whatever it
It's
wasn't good.
Yeah, it's just the again the defense again, but again a lot of complaining about the defense. But I mean, there's three guys that are less than 25 right now. You got Ball who's 23, you got Luke who's 20, and you got Nemeth back there who's only played a handful of games in this league. And I mean, you got to take the good with the bad, and that's where I feel like I you could blame the defense, but I blame goaltending because again it's a, a good goalie will stop. So I would say half of those shots, and you look at shot their goal expectation like rate, and it's like they're the worst in the league on it.
Ooh,
Like they're giving up the worst like the worst like goals in the whole and oh it's mind boggling. I mean I can't. Ugh. Like
yeah.
I said,
I
mean, like I said, I'm on like my last brink of this team. It's like they're so inconsistent you don't know what you're getting each game when you watch it. You don't know if you're gonna get this 7-3 blowout or you're gonna get this like 3-2 against like San Jose kind of game. It's like ridiculous. It's like I said, it drives me nuts. And again, the fans drive me nuts because they're ready to like sell off the team and fire this person. I'm like, you can't do that. They made strides last year. They're having a rocky season so far this year, but give them time. They'll maybe they need a coaching change. I mean, but they just gave him an extension. I mean, then what you think last week? Do you think last year was a fluke? I mean, in all seriousness, coming from another team's fandom. I mean, do you think it was a fluke last year?
mean, I wouldn't say it was fluky, but I mean, there was a beginning part in the beginning of the season where it seemed like they weren't living up to themselves. I mean, then they started chanting to get rid of the coach. The coach realized what was going on and why the fans were chanting for him to get fired, decided to have the team be able to recognize it, and then they were able to pull through for this ridiculous winning streak. So they have the ability to, and from what I've seen, I feel like they have the ability to pull themselves out better than most teams in the NHL
Right.
because they have confidence. They have confidence and they have swagger in their game to be able to any given day just be able to say I'm going to play the best game of my life, and if anybody on the other team has an issue with it, I'm not going to care.
Right.
I
No,
f-
again, and I feel like, and again, I think Jack is. I think he's again. I think that's why these turnovers he's giving up. Maybe he's just he's overcompensating for the lack of effort. Not even lack of effort, but the lack of just productivity in the team. So he's trying to make the best play possible, and then and he's just turning it over. And like I said, that was kind of the thing on the overtime goal was he was just trying to make a play. He knew Luke was there. He made a bad pass, and it was just you
yeah.
know from the blue line in, and like I said, Vitek had no chance at it at all. Like he just beat him like a rented mule. I hate that term, but that's basically what he did.
Yeah, I mean, with that win though, the Flyers extend their point streak to 9 games. I mean, that's pretty good. Good for them. They're
Yeah,
extended it to 10 last night after their wild game in Detroit.
yeah. Hey, look, I just saw that on there. Give it to the Patrick Kane, a couple
Oh,
goals. Guys, yeah, man, good for him, man. Making a comeback, especially with that injury. We were talking a few podcasts ago about how that injury really does derail like careers, and so far so good for him in Detroit. I mean, it seems like he's gelling well with the team,
and he
and
scored the
good for
shootout
him.
winner.
Yeah,
Good. I mean, he looked really good. I mean, I watched the highlights to the game. I wasn't able to watch the actual game, but I mean, rough for Detroit to blow a 5-1 lead.
oh yeah,
But I mean, you stayed in it. It's not like you it's not like Detroit blew the lead and then just lost the game. Like you were able to tie it with enough time. Like Larkin scored at 15:30, so like and that was to tie at 6-6. So like they they didn't fold entirely. I
right,
feel like. I mean, they blew it. They shouldn't be they shouldn't be thrilled that they won, but they should be happy that they won.
right, exactly. They said it's again when you got to get your points where you got to get your points, and if you're in a dogfight like that and you can pull out your 2 points, I mean, hey, God bless you, man. Like I said, because these points, as I realized this year, are really hard to come by. I mean,
Ah, yeah.
a three game winning streak in this division is gonna you go from seventh to sixth to almost third or fourth. So it's gonna be a competitive all year, which is I'm kind of happy with. Maybe they're getting their struggles out now before, and then maybe they can have a little turnaround. I mean, that's what I keep my hopes on right now is they turn it around. Maybe they trade for a goaltender. Did you see last Sunday was really the weirdest Sunday ever for at least for like Devils fans and during a
No.
game was so so VTech was the back to back it was the back to back Saturday Sunday. Schmidt had started the first game. VTech was scheduled to start the second game, and they pulled him for like an undisclosed reason. They listed it as like a non illness injury or some kind like that. So basically, okay, that's fine. He maybe he had family problems, something went on. Okay, cool. They call up Dawes, to back up Schmidt for that game. It was the Ducks game actually.
Ah, we could talk
So
about that too.
yeah, like I said, so the Ducks, like I said, they played 2 periods. Gibson is looking fantastic. I mean, most people on my Devils boards are like, "Oh, this is an audition. He's auditioning." The different trade. No, but
That's
then, it's the weirdest thing happened was the third period starts and Gibson is nowhere to be found on the ice on the bench.
also Devils fans probably thought he got traded and was in the other room.
That's exactly what it was. It was the situation all Sunday night was did they trade him during like the period
during
and
the
like was
during
he
the game.
during the game? They really these fans really thought, and I can't even say because I fell for it too. I'm like,
Schmidt for
oh
Gibson.
my god, maybe yeah,
They just swapped.
because again he got pulled for they said he was under the weather, he was an illness, but for those 2 periods, he didn't look like he had an illness. He looked like he was playing lights out against our team. So it was like, did they trade for him? Like seriously? And then the news came in, and that's why, like I said, even you had texted me that night and you said so. I was like, yep, Josh Gibson incoming or John Gibson incoming.
Yeah, because your old friend got a hat trick on his old home ice.
Uh old Henrique, you're one of your favorite Devils of all time. But no, I was happy. I was happy for Henrique. Again, he's not one of those that I hold a grudge against. He was always a fan. He's always gonna be a fan favorite just for the overtime goal against the Rangers. He'll always be in that Devils lore of like one of the like favorite players of like that generation, especially that generation of Devils players. Didn't win a cup here, but helped them get to a cup final in 12. But no, like I said, I always liked Adam Henrique, and I mean, like I said, the loss sucks because again we lost to the Ducks, who it just seems like all these bad teams are coming into the Rock, and we're just laying an egg against. It's really terrible, and that's where you go back to the inconsistencies because they're sitting there, they play Boston, who's one of the best teams, and they dogfight them and win that game, and then they play San Jose or Columbus or in Anaheim, and they just like I said, they drop an egg on you, and it's so heart wrenching for a Devils fan. You just want to reach through the screen and choke somebody. It's so bad. It's like,
Well,
oh my god. So
another egg was dropped on Devils home ice on Thursday when Edmonton came strolling in. So,
uh,
what happened with that
again,
game?
again, and that was another one too. A nationally televised game. It's McDavid. It's ESPN. It's McDavid versus Hughes. It's the big, it's one of the big, highlight games of the season, and played hard again. Came out in the third, and Edmonton just blew the water out. 1 minute and 9 seconds, 3 goals. McDavid, Draisaitl, and then some guy I never even heard of course, because we just let people who we never heard of just score.
Adam Ernie. Adam.
Yeah.
No, we love Adam Ernie. He was on the Tampa Bay teams that won the cup.
Oh, there you go. And how come they didn't make a big deal out of the McLeod Bowl than they did the Hughes Bowl? I mean, come on now. They had Ryan McLeod scored the first goal of the game. Right, give it up to him.
Ooh.
Said he scored the first goal of the game. What happened?
Ryan McLeod. We're giving it up for him now.
Hey, he's his brother. I mean, and then Mikey's got the assist on the tying goal, the first goal of the game too. He got the assist on that. So it was kind of like, oh, here we go,
Yeah.
McLeod Bowl. Instead of McDavid versus Hughes, it was McLeod versus McLeod. So
I'm sure that's
hey,
why I'm sure that's why people were tuning in.
Has been a highlight this season. That again, I go back to what I was saying in the other podcast. That fourth line is one of my favorite lines. That it reminds me of the old Crash line with McLeod, Bastion, and Lazar. I mean, I really they're seems like the only ones that really are out there, smashing the boards. I mean, hitting guys, just forechecking the hell out of the teams. It was, like I said, I enjoy that fourth line. I hope they don't break them up unless God forbid there's like an injury or something. But I hope that if Ruff is gonna move lines around and stuff and move the forwards around.
What else are you moving though?
Well,
where
again,
are you
it's more
moving
of
stuff around now?
Yeah, well, Brat moves from like the Hughes line to the Heischer line. They got Meyer from the Heischer line down to like the Mercer line, and basically the only constant has been Toffoli and Hughes together this year. And then they seem like they just throw like any winger with them, and again they usually produce. But yeah, it's been like a mishmash of lines. Again, I mean that's understandable. They're trying to find their groove, but the mixed martial lines is like, oh, like every game it's just a different line setup, and it's not even like in game, like where you look like you're looking for some goals. You put your three best players together on a line just to try to generate some offense, and it's every game. I have to look at Amanda Stein's pre skate lineups just to make sure where's everyone out tonight.
Yeah, do you think changing the lines up all the time is actually doing this team any good, or like, because like after a while you gotta you got to look at something else other than just, oh, it's the line combinations that aren't working. Like, you got to move something.
No, again, I like the I always it reminds me of like back in the day. You always knew who you were like, what guys were with, like who was centering and who was who was your wingers. Like you just knew who they were. Like you know the lines, first line, second line, third line, fourth line. You knew who they were. You knew their names. You knew who played with who. And like I said, it's just a constant. Like I said, Jack and Tyler have been together basically all year. Sometimes it brats with them, which was a great. They had a great stretch, and then they broke them up. And then it was usually Palat and Heischer were together. They kind of stay together. It's kind of like they keep like the left wing and the center together, and then they mix up that right side all the time. They throw Meyer with Heischer. They throw Meyer with Hughes. They throw like I said, like a Mercer. He goes from center to third to winger. I mean, it's I feel like it's just inconsistent. I mean, I understand you're looking to find a connection, but too much juggling sometimes. I think Ruff thinks he's sometimes I think he's just too smart for himself. I at least what I feel like watching the games every game.
So does he change or does the team need to change? Like,
That
like is
that's the
he
biggest
like
that's the
does
biggest
not even like does he change his style? Does he just like do the Devils change his position?
like I said, it's again I just I don't like the inconsistencies. I like especially when a line is clicking, just keep them together. Just let them roll. Like I said, the Jack to Foley and Brat line was working earlier in the season, and like I said, they were rolling. They were scoring goals. They were getting assists. They were on the power play, scoring goals, and it was constant always with that line. They took Brad off the line, and it seemed like it's just not clicking anymore. So I feel like maybe move Brad back up to that first line or second line, whatever you want to say, 1A, 1B line. Keep Palat and Heischer, and I would say put Meyer on the right side of that line just to give him some more confidence. I mean, yes, he got his goal the other night, which I'm very happy with because again, these boards again, I know I go back to this, but the fans drive me crazy with these people. Like I said, Jack made a turnover. Oh, trade Jack. Oh, why do we sign Timo for? I mean, because the
No
guy got
shot.
hurt.
People are saying trade Jack. Are you serious?
I'm serious. Like, literally, and this wasn't like joking. They're like, oh, he's a turnover machine. No we can get for him. I'm like, if you say that, you're definitely not a Devils fan. You got to be trolling because
Yeah.
it's the biggest BS I've ever heard. I mean, he's a generational player, and you're gonna trade him, and that's what, like I said, that's what started me off with fan stuff. Because then I started really digging deep into like what they were talking about. I'm like, you people are nuts. I mean, like either you jumped on the bandwagon last year, or you just don't know hockey at all. You're
Yeah.
just, you just don't understand like the concept of this game. And the kid is, the kid is a superstar in the making. And again, he's less than 25 years old. Give him a chance. Although, like I said, thank God we drafted Nico that year because unfortunately, uh, poor Nolan Patrick. I felt so bad. I read that online about him retiring.
He didn't retire.
Oh, he didn't retire.
No.
Okay, did they
Uh,
change? Because that was
the
a big thing. Yeah, that was the big
no
thing during the
the
week.
that was never reported on.
Okay.
It was never confirmed or anything. He started doing a training thing with some company or whatever,
Okay.
and they said that he was retired, and like people like idiots on Twitter just kind of ran with it.
Like me,
So
idiots on Twitter that read it and bring it out to a podcast. Yeah, there you go. See, exactly.
they were just like, "Oh yeah, he did this. He did like he retired." I heard today that that was actually all that was
BS.
actually all BS.
Okay. Okay. Again, that's understand. I mean, I said I never hated the kid. I just he went to Philadelphia, which again automatically makes me hate him. But I never want to see a player, especially with all the talent he had coming out that year. I remember watching a lot of the draft stuff that year because I was excited because the Devils had the first pick, and seeing the choice between Nico and Patrick. And when they took Nico, I was kind of like, oh, I mean, that's good. He had good stats in juniors. He had good stats over in Switzerland. All right, we can do this. The guy turns out to be a great captain so far in his career. I mean, he's been a really good captain. I mean, the time he was out this year, I mean, they really struggled to they really struggled this year without him, and he came back and they went on a little bit of a hot streak. But again, inconsistency with this team, inconsistency. If you're gonna mark this year so far for the Devils, the word is inconsistency. You're just not getting the consistency you got last year. And some people even, like I said, you brought up the winning streak last year. A lot of people think that was, that really hurt this team because they thought they were better than they were, and maybe like, or even the coaching was as good as they were, and it just hasn't worked this year. And like I said, they got to make a big move here. I feel like. I mean, I would love them to see. I would love them to see get a goaltender, but again, with so many
Besides a
teams.
goaltender, is there anything else you would like? Is there anything else that this team would want or need? I mean, I feel like with everything you've gone over, you need more than just a goaltender at this point.
It's again. See, I go back to with the defense. They're still young. They're gonna make mistakes. I mean, like I said, you got three guys down there less
Yeah,
than
but
25 years old.
you're making mistakes, but you're also in the National Hockey League. You can't.
Right.
You gotta be more mindful of your game because you can
Hmm.
easily just get told to pack your shit and get out. I would have no.
Right.
These players gotta. I feel like they gotta realize that these teams are here to win, and if you're not going to contribute in that way, we don't.
Right.
I don't want you here. I mean, turnovers, anything. If you're constantly doing it, if you're plus minus is a is a shitty stat, but like even if
Right.
you're like Luke in the game against the Oilers was minus
Oh,
three.
yeah, he was terrible
That's
that game.
atrocious. That's
No, it really
unplayable.
is.
For 18 minutes of ice time, he was a minus three.
-3. No, he was on there basically for every damn goal it seemed like too. Him and Siegenthaler. Siegenthaler has been. I mean, yes, he scored against Edmonton, but his defense this year. He was with Hamilton last year because Hamilton's more of an offensive defenseman, where Siegenthaler stayed back and controlled the back end. He just hasn't done it this year. He's looked lost at times. Sometimes when he's playing. I mean, and again, he's a little bit. I mean, he's a little bit older than the three guys, but it's also the talent of the three guys that you basically gotta go with them because who else you gonna put in there? I mean, you look at the AHL. I mean, all the talents up on the big team now. There's nobody like even like a Nemeth who took Hamilton's place after the injury he had. Nemeth has moved in really well, and I feel like Nemeth has been done a great job for the time he's had, the handful of games he's had in this league. I mean, he's played really well. I seem like defensively and offensively too. Luke is the one that's kind of like giving me the ends, like you said, with the -3. But I feel like he's gonna be as they grow up together. I feel like he's gonna be the big scoring, helping out with the scoring and stuff. Where Nemeth is gonna be more of a two-way player, where he'll get his points, but he's going to be really consistent on defense. I like that's what I see, and that's why I wouldn't trade either one of them for anything right now because you're going to have that constant of them two together for the next 10 to 15 years on this team.
I mean, I'm not saying trade either of them, but like
Right. Well,
you
if you want a
gotta.
goaltender right now, you have to give up something because a lot of teams right now are looking for goaltending. It's the biggest need in this league is goaltending. And I mean, teams like Toronto are looking for goaltending now. I mean, if
I
you
mean,
have a
they're not.
stockpile,
Toronto so much isn't looking for goaltending. They're just looking for Joseph Woll to get back,
that is
so
true,
they can
yes.
boot Samsonov into the fucking sun as he deserves.
Oh
Samsonov
my
is
god.
brutal.
Oh,
Oh my,
the
he's.
Leafs fans
I
on,
feel
on
bad. I
TikTok
feel
are going
bad. Oh,
crazy.
and
Oh my
rightfully they
god.
should because you're getting outplayed by Martin Jones every night.
Right.
Like, I I want to say Martin Jones had an 889 or something like that save percentage last season on a playoff team. Like it was like he did this on a playoff team and like can my camera focus please? And he did this on a playoff Seattle Kraken team. And he's coming in and he's stopping everything for Toronto when Samsonov comes in and
Oof.
allows almost all 9 goals
Oh,
against
9
Buffalo.
goals. Although I was thinking that because I was gonna bring this up as part of another part was the Buffalo. I mean, they got blown out by Columbus 9-4, I think it was. and my stomach was, you think they're gonna get rid of Granado? I mean,
No.
especially with the team, you think that was again, it was one of those again reading on freaking Twitter again and stuff. You think they're gonna get rid of him,
You know,
and
that's
then
one
they
of
come
those
out.
losses where you don't get rid of the coach. That's more something you have to look at. That's like there's something wrong on the ice. After
Right.
about goal 4, you can't really blame it on the coach. Something's going wrong on the ice.
Hmm.
And like most of the time, it's just that the team quit, which is what happened for Toronto.
Right.
Like Leafs fans were saying, like this team quit on themselves, the coach, the fans, Samsonov,
Hmm.
all of them, because like this was basically a Toronto home game.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Like so, you gave up. I mean, yeah, yeah, Matthews scored, cool, but it was over before it even started.
Right.
I
Oh yeah, no, you can see even in the building, like they showed a shot of the building after Buffalo had went up, and the half building was half empty because there probably were mostly Toronto fans there.
and
But
both
I just want to
games
say again but again for Buffalo that was a good bounce back. After getting whooped
absolutely
like that,
after getting
they
stomped
go
to go
up they go up and
stomping,
put
yeah.
9 goals up. So that's good for them. I mean, again, I it's that Buffalo's one of those teams that like never bothers me, and they're I kind of root for them because they do have a lot of good players on their team, and I kind of do root for Buffalo to succeed, and I want them to make the playoffs. They
Oh,
haven't made the
absolutely.
playoffs
They have a
in
really good team.
right,
I don't feel like they have the confidence in themselves as a team yet to be able to make it over the hump.
right, absolutely,
I mean, they gotta just their goaltending is pretty much I feel like what needs to kind of step up in some regards because like
right,
I also don't feel like Devin Levi should be playing in the NHL right now.
right.
I feel
Well,
like they're
we
rushing
had,
that a bit too much.
right, we had brought that up in an old podcast when they sent them down.
Yeah,
Was you know he needs some AHL AHL experience. Like you said, he came in right off his entry level contract and went right to the big team. And like I said, maybe he just wasn't ready for it. Maybe he just needs some AHL, get experience, get games under his belt, get some ice time,
I
and
think he should still be down there though. I don't think he should be playing in the
no,
NHL until maybe after the All-Star game. If you see if the Sabres don't turn it around and aren't near or competing for a playoff spot come like the All-Star game trade deadline,
right.
then like if the season's been punted away at that point, okay, bring him up, like see what he can do and like just give him some NHL experience, but
Mhm.
like they did last year. But I just feel like you got to be careful playing him sometimes in the NHL and sometimes down in the A cuz it's not going to do much good for him going back and forth because it is while it is the same game, it's very different
Oh yeah,
in between
absolutely.
the comparative to the NHL and AHL.
Oh yeah, there's a big leap between both leagues. That's not even a question. You can just see just on the ice. Again, I used to watch AHL games back in the day when we lived in Pennsylvania for a little while. I mean, we used to go to the Binghamton game. The Binghamton, I think they've been so many things in Binghamton. They've been the Rangers. They've been the Senators. They've been this team. I mean, yeah. So, but I remember going to a lot of Binghamton Rangers games back in the day, and like I said, the building is fantastic. The Broome County Arena was an underrated building. I really enjoyed that building so much, but going back, yeah, the game is totally different from watching an NHL game. It's like night and day.
Yeah, I mean, they gotta. The AHL is gonna get a couple goalies. It seems like because they're Toronto's probably thinking that Samsonov is gonna get sent down and get put on waivers and go unclaimed.
Yeah,
So,
that was a big thing on one of the. Again, I get a lot of Leafs TikToks on our TikTok at what the puck pod at what the puck pod.
I'll
It's
give you another
take a
crack at
chance.
that.
Yeah, let me take another crack at that. On TikTok at what the puck pod, like I said, I get a lot of like Leafs fans and Leafs material. So yeah, that was one of the things they said. Send them down. He probably won't get claimed, and
Do the Devils
then they
claim
get.
him?
Oh, I mean, look at their save percentage. I mean,
I mean, yeah,
I would take a gamble on it. I mean,
because I mean
hey,
the only
it
issue
can't be any worse.
it's not terrible because it's if you do pick him up, his contract I think is a year, $3.5 million. So like
Right.
even if he even if he doesn't come in and isn't great, I mean, it's not terrible because you still have
Right.
$6 million to work with from Dougie.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, when they finally do put him on long term
They have
IR.
already hit. You got your
Oh,
nine
they
million
have
in
put
cap
in.
space. Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen the like official from the Devils yet, but yeah, they'll pick up like six to 7 million in cap space, which will really help.
9.
Was it 9?
They'll
Okay,
get 9.
okay. So like I said, coming up on the trade deadline, that opens up a lot of doors for them to make moves and maybe you said maybe find the find the goaltending that they need just to stabilize it. It's more of a stabilizing thing right now, and it's a mental thing between those two. I feel like it's just they just don't seem mentally in the game, and they just can't get it going sometimes. I mean, like they'll make the greatest, tremendous saves. Like the one from Vitek the other night was ridiculous. I mean, I think it was like his back was turned, he went off the post and hit him and got him. He makes these ridiculous saves, and then the easiest shots where you think, nah, that's an easy save, it goes right through him. So I think again, word of the day, consistency. If either one of these two goaltenders were consistent, I feel like they would run with them. But neither one of them are consistent enough to to be on this, not to be on the team, but to help this team right now. It seems like they're just mentally shot, both of them, and it's not a good thing to do. I mean, you need your goaltending, and if the goaltending, I feel like if you can't trust the goaltending, then it affects the forwards, it affects defense in a different way.
Yeah, I'm having my own issues over here with a little bit of consistency because
Ooh.
it.
You talk about me, but the Oilers. The Oilers did the same thing to you guys
Oh, it was
last night
last
or
night.
the other night. Last night, right?
It was that game. I didn't even watch the first 2 periods. I mean, I don't even know where to start. I mean, same thing with what happened, like what they were saying in Toronto. This team quit. This team gave up.
Right, right.
I mean, you had Wheeler score a beautiful goal in the first period off a great pass from Mika. You dominate in the second period. You just come out in the third and boom, 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 boom. It's four
Yeah.
one. Figure it out.
Like I said, to me it was deja vu when I saw the score. I was like, oh my god, they just did that to my team, and
Yeah,
now they're doing it to the Rangers. Oh,
I, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, are you kidding me? I saw the rush breaking down when it was still 3-1, and I turned to my dad and I go, it's gonna be 4-1 here. Quick stops it. I watch the rebound go out. Puck goes in. We turn the game off.
oh, I don't blame this one bit. I don't blame
Uh,
this. Like I said, that's how I felt about Thursday night. It was like I said, I was so excited. Like I said, Timo had scored. He got the 3-2. All right, here we go. He scored. I was happy. The team, and I was ready. I'm like, all right, here we go. We're gonna come out of the third. We're gonna put another goal up. We're gonna win this game. And then, like I said, just Edmonton just took over the game, and it was over.
yeah,
It was over before I had my dinner on the damn plate. I swear. Like I went to go make my dinner, and I came back, and I'm like, yeah, oh, here we go, and yeah, I could probably turn this off now.
this is what I said when it was 4-1, and I turned the game off, pretty much assuming that the game was lost. And this was just in a different Discord that I had put that I was talking about the game in.
Okay.
Four unanswered goals after being up. Hold on. Four unanswered goals against after being up the entire fucking game. You make piss poor passes that couldn't connect if you had Velcro for tape. You aren't shooting on the opportunities the Oilers want to give to you. You're not winning faceoffs. You're not playing defense. You're not playing any. You're not doing anything.
I said that's a pretty good take on that. I mean, that's basically what
And don't let the score
happened.
fool you. Do not let the score
Right.
fool you. It was a 1 goal game, but you it's 4-2. It was 4-2.
Yeah,
Cooley scored with 0.1 second left. They shouldn't. Don't even count it. Don't give them.
it's what that's more one of those for those all these betters nowadays with all their friggin' with their draft
Oh,
kings and all that.
it was the
Those are
over
for those,
it was the
those
over
are for
it was the overs dream last night
oh yeah, like I
because
said,
the over
that's
was 6.5.
I don't deal with that shit. I don't like the sports betting. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like if that's your thing, hey, go for it. But every damn commercial is either MGM, DraftKings, this dog, whatever dog. I mean, like
I don't.
ESPN bet. I'm like,
I don't care.
I like my money. I
I
like
don't
saving
care.
my money. I
BetMGM
like
sponsor us, please.
Oh, I'll take the sponsorship, but like I said,
BetMGM's please
I'll talk very
sponsor.
good about. I love sports betting. Sports betting is one of the greatest things ever. I mean, I appreciate that, man. It's just, but no, in all seriousness, like I said, I'm not a big bettor. I
Yeah,
like having money in my pocket, so and I don't feel like watching. I mean, like I said, I get what it's for. It's more for games that you don't really care about. So you throw a parlay on it, and you can watch the game and kind of enjoy it. But I'm not a bettor. I'm sorry to say, I'm just not a bettor. And watching these commercials, I'm just like, God, they just want people to bet all the time. It's just holy shit. And now they, like I said, now every game has their odds and how many goals were scored in the first period, how many, what's the line on this, what's the line on that. I just don't get it.
I
I
was
mean,
I was betting on the Rangers winning four straight, but they didn't because they decided that they wanted to collapse. Giveaways in the game: Rangers 7, Oilers 3. That's too many. That
really too many.
it should be even. Like
Oh,
3, I can
absolutely.
understand, but like, yeah, you're not doing anything. You got dominated on faceoffs. You outshot them, which doesn't mean anything if you didn't score.
Right. Shots on goal don't really
Uh,
don't really
you,
matter. I mean,
your
I
power
mean, you
play
could
was
for
okay. The I awful game, especially after the game that you had in Toronto,
right.
like proper in Toronto. I mean, to go in there win 5-2, especially after you saw what Braden Schneider was able to do in that game. Did you see that
Oh yeah,
goal?
I did see. I did. Yes, I
To
did.
go end
I
to
was
end
gonna.
like that to see what he could do, you should be able to build momentum really quick off of that,
Right.
and you don't.
Yeah. Again, that's
You go into Boston, you beat Boston in overtime. You go into Toronto, you beat Toronto, you give them their first regulation loss since like Thanksgiving,
right.
and you come back home and lose the first game of a back to back, and you have a game against the Sabres tonight.
Yep. And that's funny because because we couldn't record Wednesday. I had written down before that Oilers game against the Rangers. I had written down, oh my God, these Rangers seem like they're for real this year. And then, like I said, and then I saw the score last night. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I should hold back on that a little bit.
No, they
Maybe they're not in that cup contention like I really thought they were.
how? What are you talking about?
I don't watch all the
That
Rangers games, so I don't know like you know deep of what they're doing. But you watch the scores, and again, it seems like they play consistently. To me, at least, from looking at box scores, highlights, stuff like that. But again, you would have a better intake on that watching the full games as they go on and stuff. Like I would with the Devils, I could tell you at what point something happened here and there. I don't follow the Rangers like you do, or you guys do. So you watch every game, so you understand. You see the inconsistencies, or you see what's going on with the team more than I would.
yeah, it's just weird
It's
because
more
like
from afar they look like cup contenders to me. For watching the highlights, I thought and then like I said, then I saw the Oilers score this morning, and I was like, maybe I should hold back on that a little bit.
I mean, you you don't get to where they are without being considered that. I mean, to pull back after one game is a a bit much, I feel,
Right.
cuz like it's one poor game after having three really good ones. So like I wouldn't just draw back on that because they had a weird game. I mean,
Right.
they're going to be getting ready to play tonight, so like I
Well, this is where this is where a game like this where you're gonna see how what's their bounce back. You're gonna see if they could pull it together and come out and dominate, or not dominate, but just put Buffalo away quick. See if they can come out and win this game tonight. Because if they do come out and win this game and play their game and win the game, then you feel like, all right, the game against the Oilers was a fluke. So like I said, that's how I feel. Even like I said, watching the Devils, I feel like that's how I would look at it going into it. Again, I'm coming from another side, the other side of the grass perspective on stuff. I'm looking, through my lens, and like I said, right now my team is not doing good, and I want somebody from this, at least this area, to be, playoff team, constant good team. And don't get me wrong, when all the teams are good, this area rocks for hockey. I mean, you could just tell from last year, during the playoffs, how excited like this New York, New Jersey area was for like playoff series with all three teams making it. And like I said, when it's only one team, it's kind of like the interest goes down unless you're like a big fan of the team.
Uh, I I think I'd have to. I think I'd have to disagree.
Okay.
I see.
Oh my God, you're disagreeing with me? All right,
Ah,
we're having it out now. That's it.
all right,
That's
bet.
it. No more.
Gloves
No,
are
we
off.
can't agree.
Wait.
We're not agreeing. I'm done. I can't do this no
Ah,
more. I'm sorry.
we
That's what we're
we
here for.
quit just like our
Disagree with me. Go
teams.
for it.
We quit just like our teams.
The hell no, we ain't quitting this shit.
Uh,
We are here. We are here. Maybe not on a Wednesday, but we'll get it during the week. Don't worry, folks. We'll get you. We'll get you some content around here.
I I see I see a lot of different hockey fans everywhere I go. I think the interest for the sport in certain areas around here is pretty high.
Right? No, absolutely.
So I don't know. I just feel like because there's not a I feel like hockey's there's a lot of hockey fans now because there's not that many bad teams, and even the bad teams you want to cheer for because you feel bad for them.
Of course.
Yeah, I
You know
don't
what I
even
also
know.
think? You know what I also think about like hockey growing in this area is the other sports teams are not doing good. In this area. I mean, the football teams are garbage without Rogers and hey Mr. DeVito, hey
Ugh.
goodbye, yeah, whatever. I can't. I'm done. I'm done with the Goomba stuff. By the way, I was telling Tony yesterday. I was like, I can't do this Goomba stuff no more. Once this Tommy DeVito came in with his Tommy Cutlets garbage, I'm like, I'm done. I'm done being the stereotypical Jersey Italian fake garbage stuff. I can't stand it no more. But yeah, like I said, the Yankees and Mets have been mid, maybe and the basketball teams have not done good. So like I said, with last year all three teams making the playoffs, it kind of brought hockey up in this area because it's the teams are winning, they're in the playoffs, it's excitement. Where the other sports around here are not, are in a bad state right now, I should say.
Yeah,
So I guess that's why the interest of hockey's growing and growing in this area because you do have at least one or two of the teams that are really good.
yeah. I mean, that I'll agree with you on.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, no,
Oh, we're getting together for the holidays.
oh,
We're back together, folks.
uh, uh, yeah. I mean, for the holidays, I mean, we got a lot of games tonight. We have a game going
Yeah,
on right now. I mean,
I was gonna say this is probably the last day before for actual Christmas happens because I know there's a lot of football in the next couple of days. Sunday and Mondays. There's a lot of games going on with the football, and why would you try to compete with that?
yeah, they're after today. There's 14 games today, and then a 3 day
Yeah.
break. They come back Wednesday for 14 more games.
Okay.
So we definitely won't be devoid of action right
No,
before, or
especially
right after Christmas.
yeah. Tonight would have been one of those. I feel like tonight would have been one of those good times to throw that what was it called the Frozen Frenzy.
Yeah.
And tonight would have been a great night for a Frozen Frenzy. It's a Saturday night. It's holiday time. A lot of people are home. You know, I would have said try to do it. Try to do something like that tonight. That would have been. I feel like that would have been awesome.
you you got to be careful with that though because a lot of arenas are doing probably Christmas shows.
True. Okay.
So you got to be careful with like scheduling and stuff, but I that would be a cool idea.
Hmm.
I hope they do another one of those soon. That would be a
Oh yeah.
cool.
I've been waiting for them to announce. Especially when, like you said, with their scheduling. I said they put 14 games on one night, and then the next night there's only one game going on. So it's like you're trying to get your hockey fix and you just can't because there's not enough games on some nights, and then there's tons of games on one night and you can't follow everything at once.
Yeah, we talked about inconsistency before. The NHL scheduling is
Really
brutal.
inconsistent. Oh yeah, no, it is brutal. They need to schedule a lot. But again, they're also in arenas where they have a lot of like, other stuff going on. Like I said, right now there's college basketball going on. There's, teams that share with an NBA team, their schedules going on. You have a lot, like I said, the holidays, holiday shows now, and concerts and stuff like that. Oh, speaking of concerts,
Mm.
Joe Bros, Joe Bros at MetLife for the Flyers Devils game
Oh,
pregame.
the Jonas
The
Brothers.
Joe, oh yeah, the Joe. Come on, you're a millennial. Come on, you're a Gen Z. You don't know the Joe Bros. Come on now.
Never referred to them as the Joe Bros.
There you go. I feel like an old man now talking. I should be fucking waving my cane in the air.
I mean, I know the Jonas Brothers, but I've never heard them referred to as the Joe Bros.
Oh my God, the Joe Bros. Come on now.
Yeah,
You
no,
can't mess
no,
with the Joe.
because then if you're doing the Joe Bros, we need to have all three Hughes brothers make a coffee shop named the Hughes Brews.
Oh God, that's terrible. Oh, oh God.
You want to
They
go
should have.
talking about the Joe Bros? Come shop or come stop and get a cup of coffee at the Hughes Brews in Prudential Center. Your $20
Hey,
cup of fucking coffee.
don't let Prudential Center hear you, 'cause they fucking will do that shit. So don't even like
Give
give
me
them
my money when you
ideas.
do. Give me my money when you do.
Like I said, oh hell yeah, we'll take it. We'll definitely take it. Like I said, like I
Never
said,
forget who got you there.
exactly. Like I said, Jack had mentioned. Like I think it was the game where he scored the overtime goal with Brat. Like I said, he's like, oh, how's it? He was talking, at post game. He's like, oh, how do you feel about playing with Jesper all the time? He's like, oh, we're just like peanut butter and jelly. And they took it and ran with it. You can get a PB&J at Prudential Center for like, I think really serious. It's like 11, $12 for just a peanut butter and jelly
I'll
sandwich.
make my own and bring it from home.
Hell yeah, stuff it down your pants so nobody, so security doesn't pat you down and shit. Yeah, nah, nice hot peanut butter and jelly from your shorts. That's just what I want to do at a hockey game. Yum, sounds
I
delicious.
mean, if they're stopping me for a PB&J, they got more important things to worry about. They shouldn't be
Yeah,
stopping me for a PB&J.
exactly.
I'll hit my vape in an arena seat, and they're stopping me for a PB&J.
Yeah, totally. We got the fucking, you got the puff and the down the shirt.
Right in the sleeve.
Right? Oh, you do the sleeve. I do the
Right,
shirt. I kind of like I try to
right in
like
the
fake
sleeve.
the cough. I try to fake the cough and like excuse me. Oh,
No, I
excuse
don't.
me. Okay.
What are they gonna tell me to do? Put it away? Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I used to go to games before when you could smell the weed going, like, especially when you were at the old Continental Airlines arena. If you were in the 200 sections up on the top, oh boy, did you get? I think I was like 15. I think I was like kind of like stoned because I was just the smell up there was ridiculous. And speaking of that, ask your dad about that. When we went to the Patriots Jets game, probably in what
I know
2001.
this story.
You know this story. Like I said, in
The security
the
guard,
last
yeah.
row, you could smell it wafting. It was so good at the time. It was like, oh my God, this is great. Oh, I love this.
Um, let's see. What else? What else? Uh, let's give you a little bit of time to set some stuff up. You got anything for me, Gunk?
Uh, let's see. We can go into like expansion talk. I love the
Uh,
expansion talk.
what else you got?
Let's see. We got expansion. We got like I said, we talked about Patrick, about Kane. Like I said, I was excited about that. Like I said, I brought up.
Oh,
Like I said, we
funny,
brought we brought up.
funny little note that I have that I heard while I was watching a recap video from the hockey guy on YouTube. Go check him out. I don't know him, but still go check his content out. He's pretty good.
Okay.
He was going over the couple games from last night. One of the players, I believe, he's on Montreal. He's either Montreal or Chicago because that's who played last night. His last name was Struble.
Okay.
Either the in arena announcer or the broadcaster, I heard it too, called him Strudel.
Oh, nice. Was he? As long as it's not the people. If it's not the people strudel, I don't care about it.
Who? What do
The
you?
people strudel. You know, the Rockies say that. He's like, oh, the people strudel.
I don't. I don't
Oh
think.
yeah, see, this is a little bit before your time. I mean, come on,
Well,
go
then
back and watch. I think he was with I think it was Lillian Garcia he was with, and he was mentioning something about strudel and kind of give him the around the jungle area. But
uh,
yeah, this I do enjoy good strudel. I mean, come on now, it's the
yeah,
holiday season. You got some, like I said, I got cookies. Like I said, wafting in the background. I'm like ready to go tear up some cookies, man.
that
Shit. So
pastry got into a fight last night, and I think that's what happened because uh, this is the first time he's ever played hockey.
first time he's ever played hockey. That's nice.
Jaden Struble in the NHL.
Oh, okay, I was
He's
gonna say
played
yeah, he's been
15 games this year, but he was drafted in 2019.
okay.
2 goals and an assist in 15 games. So good job,
Good.
Strudel.
Good job, Mr. Strudel. Good for him. Oh, by the way, with TikTok, the, the one of the funniest TikToks I've seen, especially back to hockey, I think the name is Hockey HQ, and he's done these like recaps of games where he just shits on like the teams. It's really funny. I mean, if you're on, I know I follow him on TikTok. It's really good. He does the like I don't know if it's the AI voice, but it's just like it would be like say Devils and Oilers the other day. He'll be like, "Oh, hey Devils fans, you're in a safe space." Psych. And then he'll just start shitting on like the game and shit. It's really funny. I really enjoy it. It I said if you get a chance, go check out Hockey IQ on TikTok. It really is, and he does all the teams, so it's not like just a local thing. It's like he does all the teams, and it's really funny to watch, especially for people that like dirty comedy like I do. I like the cringe humor, so when he does it, it just makes me laugh. So I would say go check him out on TikTok. I mean, there is a lot of good TikTok hockey stuff. I mean, again, like I was saying before, you get a lot of like a lot of Toronto guys that do it, but when you like I say, when you get some national people, and again, like that's where usually I'll listen to like the podcasts and stuff. I usually have clips of the podcasts up and stuff through my feed and listen to see what's going on and stuff. So like I said, just hockey TikTok is starting to come around. It's really good. Hockey IQ,
All right,
definitely check that out.
do that, gang. But before or after you go check him out, check us out real quick
Mm-hmm.
at What the Puck Pod on all our social medias. Yeah. Anything else, Gunk?
No, I think that's about it. Like I said,
Alrighty.
I got my ranting out. I got my frustrations out of this team. But again, I sit here and rant about my team, but I will be sitting here at 7 o'clock watching them play Detroit and hoping for the best with fingers crossed that I can get a little Christmas present before the holiday season hits. That'd be nice
I
with
hear
a
you.
big W tonight.
I would like a nice little W as well as the Rangers take on the Sabres at home. But
Yep.
if we got nothing else, I guess we can wrap it up here, gang. It's been a pretty good time talking here
Yes,
before
sir.
we head out for our little Christmas hiatus.
Yes, it
So,
is.
gang, anybody out there listening, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever,
Merry
however you take
Christmas.
it.
Yes.
We love y'all. We appreciate everything that you've done for us so far, watching, listening, supporting, whatever.
Exactly. And have a
Uh,
safe holiday out there. Everyone be
yes,
careful out there. Have a safe holiday. While if you're driving, be careful. Watch out for the drunk drivers. And if you come to the modern, please tip your valet. That's all I ask.
all right, gang. We love y'all. Have a happy, safe holiday. Enjoy spending time with your family, opening your gifts. You are all
Love you
our gift
guys.
this holiday season. We love
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
Peace.
Peace.